domestic loads in a person's home. The commercial unit is to be used in all applications other than hot water domestic loads. So if you're installing hydronic heating, hotel, restaurant, laundry, schools, nursing homes, etc., that's where that unit would be used, apartment complexes, etc. The commercial unit has a controller that comes in the box with the heater that can be set from 96 to 180 degrees. In the event you need a temperature lower than 180 degrees, or you need the keypad not to exceed 140 degrees, so we can tell you a series of switches to change to where the unit will not go above 140 degrees. The residential unit comes with a BC controller in the box with this unit set from 96 to 120 degrees. Rinnai does not offer a controller in the box with the product that will operate over 120 degrees for safety reasons. If a customer needs 130 to 140 degree temperatures, he must purchase another controller to achieve that. Each unit, being the commercial and the residential, come with a controller in the box with those units. The commercial unit comes with a controller that operates from 96 to 180 degrees. The residential unit comes with a keypad that operates from 96 to 120 degrees. In order to wire those controllers up, you need low voltage thermostat wire, and they connect to this two screws here on each PC board that says terminals for controls. So that's low voltage thermostat wire. It's a 12-volt output. You lift this cover up, and you'll find them on the commercial unit also. Do not connect them to this set of terminals here. These terminals are for optional freeze-down solenoid valves. Okay? That's pretty much it for the general product knowledge. Now let's discuss multiple unit installations. Why would you want a bunch of heaters installed versus a tank? Tank water heaters today sit there and heat water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, wasting energy. When you put multiple units in, the Rinnai heaters only heat water as it's flowing through the heater. Once you shut the water flow off, no water is being heated. If I'm only using a half gallon of flow, 1 gallon of flow, I'm only heating that much water. So therefore, Rinnai would recommend in some applications like restaurants, you stage units together like we have in the background behind me. You can install up to 5, 10, 15, 20, unlimited numbers of units according to the application you're doing. So let's say if you walk into a restaurant today that has a 199,000 BTU, 100-gallon storage tank, you could put 3 units in to replace that application. Don't walk into an application, please, and put just one heater in with no storage to replace it, because it won't do it. You can't handle the dump loads. So therefore, when you're sizing commercial jobs and you want to put these heaters in the place of commercial heater, make sure you use Rinnai sizing guidelines found on the internet. For 199,000 BTU, 100-gallon used in most restaurants today, it takes up to 3 heaters. If you have a commercial dishwasher in a location, you must use a minimum of 2 heaters. If you have any questions on that, please give us a call and let's discuss. Do not use one heater in a commercial dishwasher for the sole source to heat the water, and do not use one of our heaters as a booster for a commercial dishwasher. Getting back to staging your units, again, in this application we have 5 heaters staged together. When you bank in heaters together, whether it's 2 heaters or up to 5 or 10 or whatever, we have what we call multiple unit controls that will stage and sequence these heaters. Whereas if you have 2 tank water heaters today put together, you have to plumb them and put the plumbing exactly the same in between the heaters to get the proper flow off of them to balance your load. With these products, we electronically balance the load. So if I put 5 heaters in a manifold, I can put this modulating sequence controller called an MSA-2 impact on 2 heaters. When I order an MSA-2 impact, it would consist of this board and 2 wiring harnesses such as this. So if I put the MSA impact in, I plug this into slot number 1 for unit number 1, pull this harness up, plug it into the front of the PC board at this point here, and then take the red wire and plug it into the single red wire that's inside the cabinet. For the socket unit, I plug this harness in, pull it out of a slot cut out of the bottom of the heater, up into the socket unit, plug it into the face of the board, and into the single red wire. If I have 3 or more heaters, I would need one MSA-M2 impact for 2 heaters. For the 3rd heater, I need an MSA-2S pack. So if I had 5 heaters, I would need 1 MSA2M and 3 MSA2S's. What this system would do, if you note here, we have 3 lights that are steady, and we have 2 lights that are blinking in this bank of 5. This tells me that I have 3 heaters on standby ready to fire as soon as the water is turned on in case we have a demand for a large load of water. So if I turn on water, 3 heaters could fire momentarily, and they will run long enough to figure out what the load demand requires. If only 1 heater can handle that load, the 3rd heater will cycle back off. And then after a few moments, if it figures that 1 heater can still handle the load, the 2nd heater will cycle off, and then the 1st unit will handle the load. And it will sit here and operate 1 heater, and as the flow rate increases, and this heater gets up to about 90% of its total capacity of 180,000 BTUs, then the 2nd unit will fire. Whenever the 2nd unit fires, instead of this one operating at 180,000 and this one at 20,000 BTUs, it divides the load in half, so both heaters start operating at 100,000 BTUs. As the load gets up to 90%, 3rd unit cuts in and divides the load into a 3rd. Gets up to 90%, the 4th unit cuts on and divides it into a 4th. 90%, 5th unit cuts on and divides it into a 5th. So all heaters are operating at the exact same BTUs all the time. It will also sequence. Unit number 1 comes on first. It'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a limited time or after 10 cycles. And then it will go to unit number 2 and go 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And then 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it sequences and modulates. The 2 units that are blinking here will be called upon as the load increases. So again, the units fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and keep sequencing to where every unit gets the same amount of usage. It burns the same BTU, and this flow control balances your load. So I can come off my cold water, my hot water manifold on the end, in the center, anywhere I want to, because it drives the water valve closed in every heater that's not cold. Now we're going to discuss the optional items that Rinnai offers. We have a pipe cover box for both the commercial unit and the residential. The commercial unit is gray, as this box here is. The residential would be white to match the heater. This box is made to mount on the bottom of the heater to cover your piping or to dress your application. So as long as you keep your pipes within 18 inches of the bottom of the heater, this will dress the insulation up and make it look a lot nicer. In addition to that, we also have a flush mount or recessed box. You can take this box, put it on the outside of the home, hang the external water heater inside of this box, and do your piping, and all the piping and water heater and everything is flush mount to the outside of the home. You put this cover back over it, all you will see is the face of this box and this lip around the outside edge of the home. The rest of the box will be in the wall. This is our standard vent discharge kit. If you're going to run a horizontal vent, you must use the horizontal discharge adapter that you see in this picture here. And if you're going straight out the wall, this would be the kit you would do on a direct vent. So if I mount the heater on an external wall, I would put the horizontal discharge adapter on top of the heater with the long throw on top of the heater with the short throw going toward the wall. And then I would put the wall terminal through the wall. You have to drill a 5-inch hole, 5 1/8-inch hole through the outside wall. Measure your wall thickness and add 4 inches to it. So if my wall thickness is 6 inches, I would measure from this point back 10 inches because I added 4 inches to the length. Then you cut this vent pipe off to fit. You must cut it off to where you have about 3/4 of an inch of metal pipe protruding past the plastic. For roof terminal venting, we have a vertical discharge adapter for vertical venting. The vertical discharge adapter